Trump is a billionaire, so they hold it against him. If Trump were going to cost more under Trump, and yet to make it a serious crime, that suggests that it's currently not a serious. Let's give real thanks that we are not JoJo from Jers. I'm not joking. There are a number of accounts that I actually thought were not fake, but paid accounts, bot accounts. JoJo from Jers? I thought it was an AI generated image, so I guess she can take that as flattery. She's a real person. Unless this is an AI image, I have no idea. The left still hasn't gotten over the election. And it went from Kamala Harris is going to win in a blue wave. She's going to sweep all of the swing states to she's going to win to, oh my dear goodness, is she not going to win to, oh my goodness, we lost, but at least it's not a landslide to, oh my goodness, it's all 7 swing states. Every county, every area in America shifted red. Popular vote as well, but, Trump didn't get 50% of the vote. Cope-harder, people. Here is some cope.
Dear Mon Pa MAGA, so you're out there driving around in your F-1 $50 left in your bank account, honking and shouting shit about owning the libs, blaring country music, and letting your 3 American flags on your back gate get ripped to absolute shreds by wind and weather because you finally stuck it to the elites.
By the way, she looks like she's going to cry. This is like the AOC side eye. Oh, but she goes left and right.
So you're
there we go. She got both sides. Just making sure.
Out there driving around in your F-1 $50.
By the way, all of this idiot JoJo from Jers actually didn't pay attention to the demographic shift in Trump supporters in the last election. Congratulations on learning nothing. You will surely not repeat your very same mistakes, JoJo from Jers.
Left in your bank account, honking and shouting shit about owning the libs, blaring country music, and letting your 3 American flags on your back gate get ripped to absolute shreds by wind and weather because you finally stuck it to the elites by electing a billionaire who has just tasked 2 other billionaires with taking shit you rely on away so that they can make more billions. Do I have that about right?
Dear universe, when I said, quote, things could always be worse, it wasn't an effing challenge. Are you effing kidding me? She's a real person. So I'll give her credit for one thing. Her delivery is not bad. She's better at delivering than Kamala Harris. Maybe she could be president. Who knows? The idiots. It's an amazing thing. And this is motivated reasoning. Trump is a billionaire, so they hold it against him. If Trump were not a billionaire, they would hold it against him. When they wanted to argue that he's not a billionaire, they held the fact that, or not as worth as much as he said he was, they wanted to hold that against him. If he were to be a lowly, normal person with a several $100,000 net asset value after mortgage, after debts, well, then that would have been a sign of him being a failure. He doesn't know anything about business. JoJo is holding the fact that Trump is a billionaire against him, the fact that Elon Musk is a billionaire against him, the fact that Vivek Ramaswamy is a billionaire against him, as if that's not an indication that they might very well know what they're doing when it comes to doing what they're tasked to doing, and that is making the business of the government more efficient. The only difference is that when you make government more efficient, you're not making the president of that corporation richer. You're saving the financiers of that corporation, the taxpayer dollars, money. But these idiots come out and the new talking point now is avocados are going to cost however much more because Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, the Jewish president of a very Catholic Mexico, I'm only saying that because of the irony. I still can't get over it. Avocado is going to cost more because America imports up to like 90% of its consumed avocado from Mexico. Avocado from Mexico. The best song ever. Arguing that things are going to cost more under Trump and yet somehow that he's not going to make the government more efficient and that the reason why things were going to cost more because we imported from Mexico, even though California has the capability of producing far more avocado, but it doesn't. And why doesn't it? Because of garbage regulation that makes it cheaper to outsource than to insource. They don't understand how this all plays together. That letter from Mexico, it's a little bit long because the other day in response to the tariffs that Trump is talking about imposing on Canada and Mexico, Claudio Sheinbaum, I'll never get don't accuse me of anything of anti-Semitism, period, because it would be obviously stupid for obvious reasons, but it is quite ironic, or at least very, very out of the matrix, that the president of a very religious Catholic Mexico happens to be a Jewish lady and one who has been described as being a commie lady at that. In response to Donald Trump's proposed tariffs, people are sharing this letter. I don't think anybody's ever taken the time to read it. to even know that it's in Spanish, and so that you're not even going to understand it. But I've read this, so we're gonna go through this quickly, and I've been told to not modulate but pace better when I read, presuming that everybody who's listening to this on podcast is reading along with me. This is from David Adler, co-general coordinator of, I don't know what that, Prague International. Okay. Breaking from Mexico, President Claudio Sheinbaum has just penned a letter to Trump. It's brilliant, firm, and unflinching. A document that will set the tone for an entirely new era of U.S.-Mexican relations. I shouldn't make fun because I don't know where they're going yet. I have posted the English translation below. Dear President-elect Donald Trump, I am writing you regarding your statement on Monday, November 25th, that's 3 days ago, concerning migration, fentanyl, trafficking, and tariffs. You may not be aware that Mexico has developed a comprehensive policy to assist migrants from different parts of the world who cross our territory en route to the southern border of the United States. As a result, why would they be doing that? And according to data from your country's Customs and Border Patrol, encounters at the U.S.-Mexico border have decreased by 75% between December 2023 and November 2024. Can you imagine? It quadrupled under Biden. It went down a fraction of what it quadrupled over the last 4 years. This is literally what Orwell wrote about in 1984. Chocolate production is up by 50%. It's down by... You don't even know if they're making chocolate, people. But it's down 75% in the last year from the 400% it was up in the first year of the Biden administration. Okay, even so, it is clear that we must work together to create a new labor mobility model that is necessary for your country, as well as address the root causes that compel families to leave their homes out of necessity. Oh, that's a very interesting way of baking in the conclusion into the premise. Is necessity economic migrants? Like, I guess that's an economic necessity or an economic preference. It's amazing. You've built into the equation that they're leaving out of necessity and not out of preference, not out of financial interest to come and get $2,000 prepaid credit cards from America. If even a small percentage, which is dedicated to war, were dedicated to building peace and fostering development, it would address the underlying causes of human mobility. This is unbelievable, actually, that this would impress anybody except for AOC. Human mobility is one hell of a way of talking about illegal migration, illegal immigration. If even a small percentage, by the way, not dedicated to building a wall, fostering development, building peace, it would address the underlying causes of human mobility. I do tend to agree that there's a portion of illegal immigration that is the result of foreign policy. Build a wall. What did they say? They didn't have $5 billion for the wall, but they had $300 billion for Ukraine. Unbelievable, eh? Priorities. On another note, for humanitarian reasons, Mexico has consistently expressed its willingness to help prevent the fentanyl epidemic in the United States from continuing. This is, after all, a public health consumption problem within your society. It's within our society, fueled by drugs funneled through your country. And whether or not it's only your country, because it isn't, it comes from China as well. Some might say that Mexico and China is poisoning the United States. Yes, there's definitely some problems there. One easy way to fix that problem: cut down on illegal human mobility. So far this year, Mexican armed forces and prosecutors have seized tons of drugs, 10,000 firearms, detained a bunch of individuals. Furthermore, the Mexican Congress is in the process of approving a constitutional reform to classify the production, distribution, and commercialization of fentanyl and other synthetic drugs as a serious crime without bail. What the hell is it now, if I may ask, Sheinbaum? However, it's publicly known that the chemical precursors used to produce this and other illegal drugs are illegally entering from Canada, the United States, and Mexico from Asian countries. This underscores the urgent need for international collaboration. You must also be aware of the illegal trafficking of firearms into my country from the United States. Yeah, sounds like you both benefit from a wall, Sheinbaum. 70% of illegal weapons seized from criminals in Mexico come from your country. This is, I believe, also true of Canada. I have to double check that. We do not produce these weapons, nor do we consume synthetic drugs. Oh, so you're better than America. Oh, you don't take the drugs that you poison Americans with by having them funneled through your country. Oh, that's nice. Tragically, it is in our country that lives are lost to the violence resulting from meeting the drug demand in yours. It sounds like both parties would very much benefit from a wall. Is there a punchline to this that I'm not getting? President Trump, migration and drug consumption in the United States cannot be addressed through threats or tariffs. No, it can be addressed through a freaking wall. Period. The tariffs are not about the drugs, although it might have an incidental effect on curbing the drugs. What is needed is the cooperation, mutual understanding to tackle these challenges. For every tariff, there will be a response in kind. Okay. I'm actually curious as to who that would hurt most. Until we put at risk our shared enterprises. Yes, shared. For instance, among Mexico's main exporters to the United States are General Motors, Stellantis, and Ford Motor Company, which arrived in Mexico 80 years ago. Why impose a tariff that would jeopardize them? It's an amazing thing. Do you remember back in the campaign when Trump said the threat of a tariff caused John Deere to reconsider relocating, or not relocating, but allocating a certain production of materials to Mexico production. It's an amazing thing just to think, like, they don't understand how the free market would adapt. Impose a tariff, and maybe they won't use production in Mexico, Sheinbaum. Maybe you'll just lose the jobs. America will get more streamlined in terms of production. Technology is an amazing thing, and they'll produce at home so they don't have to rely on foreign production. It's a crazy thing. Such a method would be unacceptable and would lead to inflation and job losses in both the United States and Mexico. Not necessarily. I'm not sure how she gets to inflation in this, but not necessarily job losses. Maybe job losses in Mexico, not necessarily in America. It might actually lead to job production in America. I'm convinced that North America's economic strength lies in maintaining our trade partnership. This allows us to remain competitive against other economic blocs. For this reason, I believe that dialogue is the best path to understanding peace and prosperity for our nations. I hope our teams can meet soon to continue. How did this guy qualify this letter again? It's brilliant, firm, and unflinching. It's about 2 pages, too long, uses Donald Trump's name in it, and says virtually nothing. And what it does say is arguable at best. She's right about one thing. A lot of illegal crap coming in from Canada as well. Why is fentanyl production not already a serious crime in Mexico? I didn't know one way or the other, but if she's talking about how they're talking about imposing legislation to make it a serious crime, that suggests that it's currently not a serious crime. Or it suggests that they cannot impose the law in Mexico because the country is run by criminal cartels, which it is, people. Mexico candidate assassinations hit grim record. Look at this. You tell me that this country's not run by the freaking cartel? I would argue that Sheinbaum is indebted to or in fear of the cartel. She's not in fear of them. She's working with them. Mexican candidate assassinations hit grim record ahead of Sunday's election. This is May 31st, 2024. Mexico City. Mexico's election is now the bloodiest in its modern history after a candidate running for local office in Central Puebla state was murdered Friday, taking the number of assassinated candidates to 37. Sheinbaum, let me just get bold and tell you what I think. I don't think you are in control of your country. I think the cartel is. And I think that if you purport to have any control over the cartels, it's because the cartels control you. And you know what would work more than, forget your tariffs, forget your avocados. California will figure out how to reduce taxes or give credits, encourage local avocado production. Forget John Deere, General Motors producing in Mexico and then shipping it to America. Do it here. I got a Ford Bronco, baby. It was made and hand assembled in Dearborn, Michigan. Proud of it and grateful to be able to pay whatever premium there is to buy made in America.